Akwesasne. Welcome to the new phrase of the week offered by the Mohawk Council of Akwesasne and the Thompson Island Cultural Camp. We usually like to keep the phrases of the week, to kind of seasonal. And right now it's about a time that you would be picking root medicines. So our phrase today is Dewa tehra goha ne onunkwa sun'a. So, Dewa tehra goha ne onunkwa sun'a. One more time. Dewa tehra goha ne onunkwa sun'a. So, the most important part for pronunciation here is these H's, right? Dewa tehra goha, right? Ne onu kwa sun'a. Okay, so the H's are the most important things to get here. So that's the phrase of the week, and let's break it down. So for our first word here, dewa tehra goha, this here is the prefix of the word dewa, right? And this is written in red because it is what we call a subjective prefix. We dealt with a subjective prefix in last week's phrase of the week as well. And this is the same prefix, dewa, and it corresponds to the pronoun dewa goegu, which means all of us. Okay, and here in brown, we have HTEHRA. And that is the noun root, right? So we do the noun roots in brown. It is the noun root of the word ohtera. Okay, and that word ohtera means roots. So usually when there's a down stress here, right? And down stresses always have these colon to be a long stress, right? So ohtera, and that means that your voice kind of falls in a falling tone, right? Ohtera. Sometimes this here, down stress, is actually compensating for an H. So if we move the stress on this word, we can see that the H comes out, right? So you can see H, T, E. Remember, this here is compensating for an H, so there'd be an H here, and then R-A, which is what we see here in the noun root. H, T, E, H, R, A. Sometimes it compensates for a glottal as well. And this is a glottal right here. And it's the same sound that you make. It is a letter in the language, and it's the same sound that you make when you say uh-oh. You cut all the air. So, moving on, this in green here, this is the verb. And it's the same verb in last week's. But here, I just put it in a different form. Last week's was ikwas, right? Now I have ikgo. And there's the glottal, ikgo. I cut the air. So, ikgo means let me pick something, right? So, you can see that it takes a different form, right? This is what we call the imperative or the command form. So sometimes when you add something else onto a verb, onto the end of a verb root, or if you conjugate it, it has different forms. In this case, the form that ikwas takes is this ko, right? So that's what we have here. And then this ha is the purposive. So the purposive basically means that you're going to do something, right? To go do something, and what you're going to do is the verb. So yeah, it means like to go somewhere with the purpose to do something, right? So dewa tehra goha all together means that all of us are going to pick roots, right? So that's how this word is understood. This last part here, this goha, is also the punctual form of the purposive for ikwas, which would be gohe, which is very common in names. So if your name has gohe on the end of it, which would be the noun, this is the the command form of it, but the non-command form is the I, kohe, your name would mean to be going to get something, right? Or going to pick something, going to get something is often how it's used. So next, then we have ne, which, right, is pretty much the best definition is the aforementioned. So, dewa tehragoha ne onukwa sunga. So we're going to pick medicines. We're going to pick the aforementioned medicines, if that's how this can make sense. Next is the word onukwa sunga. So here we have the O, which was the same one in last week's, right? So it's kind of almost seems like a denominalized yo, right? And yo is the prefix for amha, and it means basically it. Next is this nonhkwa, and that comes from the word here, onukwa, which means medicine. And you can kind of see that it is pretty much the same exact word right here, onukwa. But we only have one stress on a Mohawk word, so we're adding this here, which is a pluralizer, and this sun'a, it's a pluralizer that basically means all kinds of medicines. And altogether, this phrase means let's go pick root medicines. Dewa tehragoha ne onukwa sun'a. Let's go pick root medicines. Nyama for tuning in. Be sure to follow the Mohawk Council of Akwesasne and Thompson Island Cultural Camp for more Kanien'keha phrases of the week. I hope you all have a nice day. Ona.